Hello and welcome. This is I'm not 100% sure what kind of reading this is going to be. I know it's going to be a check-in with divine masculines, but I've been kind of getting a lot of a lot of like partial downloads of things going on in the collective. I'm seeing a lot, and I'm laughing because I forget that the YouTube thing does it wants you to do a picture to start it with, and I just thought to hold up the deck and look what's the sun, which I definitely recommend check out Divine Maverick. She's a great reader, and she was just talking about "Here Comes the Sun," that song, and I think it's so funny. And I actually heard that song earlier today. Also, I put in the title, "Have you ever seen the rain?" Because that's a song that's been in and out of my head today, and it might actually start raining. I might end up doing part one and part two of this if it does, but for some reason, I'm just feeling really called to do some of this reading while outside. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm getting the sense that masculines are. I mean, it's definitely enlightenment. I just shuffled the deck. I haven't shuffled to pull, but this was here. Like they're kind of seeing. It's like the naked truth of what unconditional love is like. I mean, this card, the childlike figure in there, and it's funny because it's actually being the 19th card with 21 cards in the major arcana. It's nearing the end of the hero's journey. It's like when you recognize that childlike sense of wonder is important and holds value. But I think, especially considering the all signs reading that I did, this is definitely a lot of masculines are starting to recognize the difference between what they used to think love was and what they're seeing that love is, can be. They may be thinking about a lot of you if you've presented yourselves. You might be different from all that they're used to. Many of them were used to like relationships where fighting was the way that you showed affection for, not affection, but it's like how you showed that you cared. And a lot of masculines are starting to learn that just because someone will fight with you does not mean that they will fight for you, and the fighting doesn't equal love. And like all relationships are going to have moments of fighting, but the real question is, do they lead to resolutions, or do they just continue to go round and round in a wash cycle of the same argument over and over and over again? And I think they're starting to realize that there's a much bigger difference in that kind of like from a toxic relationship to a healthy one, and even a divine one, which is probably like I think most of these masculines were aware there's a difference between a healthy relationship and a toxic one, but many of them weren't aware there were like twin flame ones, that there were differences between twin flames and soulmates, and that there could be karmic partners and things like that. And I think there some of them are really starting to embrace this, especially for those of you that have either mentioned something to them or are doing like me and doing some kind of like educational system or readings or something. Like they're starting to, some of them I think are, I'm really curious here. Yeah. They're starting to check into what you're doing and are going like, whoa, there's more. Like all these thoughts, all these things that I've been thinking, that I've been hearing, all these dreams, they mean something more. They really do. Like I thought I was crazy. That's kind of the. It's funny getting all that from. Have you ever seen the rain? Sometimes I want to say channeling coming in is kind of like that, where you don't really know what's going to be said until it's said. So I hope that helps some of you guys. I'm going to pull some cards and see what's going on with masculines right now, and we'll see. Well, actually, you know what? Let's see how are masculines feeling. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us how are masculines feeling. I'm gonna laugh if that sun card comes back out again. I've seen it several times already. There it was again. Oh, all right. So first we have Ace of Pentacles, and on the bottom the Hermit. So they may be trying to get their money together. They may be trying to think of a gift to bring to you, especially for those that have been real as someone called it, jackbutts. Oh, wow, interesting. Okay, what came out next? The Magician and the Three of Swords. And on the bottom, Ten of Wands. So masculines, interesting. The Ace of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Three of Swords. I think most masculines are feeling. It's funny because I wanted to say it's an action. I was asking for how they're feeling, but what's really resonating right now is that masculines are they're putting away their money, they're taking on more work opportunities, they're saving it, and they're manifesting a breakup and also a healing of the heart, so to speak. But and this card, it also can represent a third party situation, like a third party karmic situation. In general, it's a loss, it's betrayal. So in terms of how they're feeling betrayed. And if they're not in a relationship with you, it's very likely that if you have, in fact, I think I'll pull some cards for where the karmics are at because this seems like a reading for divine masculines that have been in situationships with karmics and learning lessons. But this is ending such situations. Yeah, they might be. They might also be getting ready to speak about it, to write about it. There might be a message coming. This can also be represented by this. It could be that they're getting ready to offer you a new beginning of some kind. And for some of them, this is them offering you their seed, because the pentacle is often represented as a seed, and that is a wonderful double entendre and euphemism. And being that this is the magician, he can also be a very tantric fellow. Interestingly enough, though, where he can represent sexuality, it's almost always in a tantric sense. It's not just that physical, mm, not just a carnal connection. It's like in the mind. Yeah, feeling. There's a fair amount of red in this, so because they're all upright, and because this card is upright, I'm getting the sense that they're actually feeling a lot more grounded. And you know what? Yeah, I think what they're feeling is as they get closer and closer to ending their karmic situations or as their karmics continue to betray them, they're starting to actually heal, strangely enough. But sometimes we need that. Sometimes we have to be in the middle of a huge chaotic circus to actually get to a point of healing. We kind of put ourselves in a position where we have to act. And this is putting masculines in a position to decide to start to remove the swords from their hearts and call back in the missing soul pieces. So, for those of you counterparts that are listening right now, it's really good for you to work on healing how you may, like any sort of betrayals, they get kept in our heart chakra space. Any sort of like like a fear of abandonment would go into your root chakra, but somebody cheating on you or leaving you for somebody else or using other people to hurt you, just like love betrayals, um, and even familial betrayals, because it's good to go back and look at like where did you feel betrayed as a child by your parents, by friends, by early lovers, things like that. And you know what? I think masculines, because I asked how are they feeling, they're feeling this. They're feeling their early, yeah, because this is an early stage, this is an early stage, and this is an early stage. They're thinking about their earliest heartbreaks, but they're mending them. They're starting to, at least. I'm really glad to see that these are an upright. That's good movement. And let's see. Oh, interesting. Hot topic. The moon reversed. So a fair amount of these masculines are probably getting the sense that for many of them, they're recognizing that they've been blocking their emotions and their own blessings and their good new beginnings by not facing their feelings. And they're not feeling authentic, and they're feeling a bit confused about like who they are and who versus who they used to be. But more so, I think that this is masculines, like because this is on the hot topic, this is what's being talked about that's causing them to feel this way. I think that they're recognizing a polarity between them and, well, I think it's for some it's both. They're recognizing the contrast. That's a lot of what this card can be about, is contrast between them and the karmic, between them and you, and between you and the karmic. Like they're really they're comparing things and like answering that, like, what do I want? What do I really, really want? What is, like, a lot of them may have thought that their heart led them to where they are, but they're recognizing that that wasn't accurate. So if that wasn't accurate, and the old ways that they used to recognize a loving relationship, or the old ways they used to do it don't work, then who are they? So this is kind of a little bit of an identity crisis, so to speak, but it's also a fair amount of them recognizing they've been faithless, probably more so in you, but also in themselves. And many of them are not feeling a lot of faith in themselves. And for a great number of them, this is also them realizing that their karmic has been cheating on them, is actually more of a, I don't know about an enemy, kind of a frenemy, sort of, so to speak. And this is the topic of conversation that is happening, that is causing them to feel like they want a new beginning and that they're ready to let go of the things that are hurting them, which is really good news, because a fair amount of masculines have been going through cycles choosing pain over and over and over again. And now they're manifesting the healing. And it's because of whatever's going on with this. I mean, it could be a lot of things: clandestine affairs, it could be crime, it could be they're recognizing they're with somebody who brings in chaos and confusion on purpose. This also is a card of both Cancer and Capricorn, so those might play a part, however that resonates to you. Being that the Ten of Wands is down here, now it's really good that this is an upright. This is in the shadow card position, and what that tells me is that masculines are doing their shadow work, and they're getting ready to evolve into the Page of Wands. They're ready to put down an old cycle and start new. Um, And for many of them, this is them getting ready to speak. They're kind of trying to put all their resources together, put their thoughts together. They're trying to, they're probably finding themselves run into with problems. I might have to end this in just a second. Oh, hey, Tyler. They might be finding that they have a lot of people speaking their opinions about things, and trying to get in their heads, trying to be as loud as possible, um, trying to. Hi, Hunter. Neighbor's dog. They might be. It's funny because I love some of the readers I listen to, have dogs in their house that they listen to, or that they listen to, that will bark in certain times, and sometimes it almost feels like you can hear something in it, but I don't know. There's somebody that masculines are dealing with that's very territorial. Their bark is probably worse than their bite, but they do have a bite, and they are verbally aggressive. Like, take from the things that are around you. Part of those are synchronicities. Maybe birds or feathers, or if your cat likes to. There's some readers I love that have cats that come in. I think Allie's Tarot is one. I haven't listened to her in a while, but I like listening to her readings. And her cat will come in every once in a while and sit and look at it. Um, but yeah, I think masculines they're feeling the burden. Actually, this is a lot about communication. I think this is, thank you, Spirit. I think that the dogs coming through and so many people coming through is that they're feeling the weight of a lot of voices. This is a lot of wands typically are communication, and they're related with the fire element. So there's a lot of people that think that they know what divine masculine should be doing. They're telling them, no, you should go do this, or you should focus on your work, or you should try to make this toxic karmic relationship work or whatever it is, and they're ready to put that down. They're ready to move into that Page of Wands energy and stand on their own, listen to their own inner voice. We also have Mercury energy in here, and the I think this is a large part of us being in Virgo season. And it makes sense to have to have them feeling that Three of Swords in there with that Mercury energy, because that's the Pisces moon coming in tomorrow. Now let's see here. What's in the heart of the matter? What's in their hearts? Interesting. Temperance reversed. So, hmm, I'm kind of getting a sense for a lot of them that is them trying to avoid the temptation of you, divine femmes, and for others, I think that it's part of this hot topic. Somebody has been giving in to or not bad temptations necessarily, but temptations that violate whatever they felt was supposed to be the agreement in the relationship. It could be cheating again. It could be getting into crime. Either way, they're feeling like there's no consensus where they are, and that's why they're ready to build new. Like they feel like they can't speak, they can't talk. Like whenever they talk, somebody starts yelling or takes offense or gets territorial or suddenly they have a crowd of people around them all wanting different things, and there's no consensus in it. There's no balance. There's no healing. There's every temptation to walk away. And yeah, I think that's why they're ready to put it down, why they're manifesting that. I'm going to use my other deck for a minute here, though. My little Alice in Wonderland deck. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me why are masculines feeling this way. Actually, let's do it one at a time. So, Ace of Pentacles. What's the Ace of Pentacles about, Spirit? Why are masculines feeling that energy? Or rather, what are they? What is it about? What are they going to do? That's Ace of Pentacles esque. Seeing the Devil card move around in there a fair bit. They may be thinking about divine femmes or getting out of situations where they felt trapped by the devil. Oh, that is so funny. Look at that. Temperance. What do we just have in the heart of the matter? But it's upright. So they want balance. They want a new beginning and balance. They want to feel like they have something to offer. It's funny though, I'm thinking about, like, look at him, he's looking in his bag. He doesn't seem unsatisfied, and he's got like a sandwich in his hand. This can often be a card about temperance, can also be about music. So some of these masculines may be offering, they may either share music with you, or they may offer to make music with you if you shared that, or that many of them are speaking to you through music too. At least their 5D selves are, and some of them may work with music in some kind of way. And I think some of them are writing songs for their divine femmes too, or poems or something like that. You might get maybe a story of some kind. I don't know, keep an ear out for that. Is there anything else you'd like to say with that, Spirit? Oh, interesting. Okay. And we got the Queen of Peppermills, which is the Queen of Wands, and the Five of Swords. Okay. They want to create and they want to apologize. Oftentimes this is a very cutthroat card. They want, but it's in reverse. It means resolutions and apologies, and they're trying to find a creative way to do that. I think a fair amount of these DMs recognize that they made some pretty big blunders, and probably were doing this to you when they should have been doing it to the person at home doing that, and to their old ways. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well. Okay. Yeah. Six of Swords on the bottom. They've had an ego death or two, or that's what's keeping them from offering it so far. As they're kind of fighting with their egos, which the Magician can represent some ego challenges too. It's also another divine masculine card too. What's it? What is this Magician card about? Hearing the word initiation too, which sometimes the magician can be associated as an initiation card. So this could be a lot of divine masculines finally. It's also about manifesting. So they could be in that energy of, oh, how do you put it? Like starting to be more metacognitive. And if for those of you divine femmes that talk about manifesting and law of attraction and magic and things like that, it may be that they are finally listening and they're kind of being initiated into that because they're actually getting into receptive mode. And of course, look what cards came out for that magician. Five of Wands, Ace of Cups, Page of Cups, and again, Six of Wands. So this magician, some of them, so fives is that chaotic energy. It's energy of change. It's also the energy of mastery and attempting to build, but it's trouble getting there. Also, this card can often be, well, it's like drama, things like that, but sometimes it's masculines are still to a degree fending off drama from others, and they're also, some of them are trying to actually manifest some drama. They're still recognizing that, or there's some of them are still in the process of realizing that actually to end a situation, the least amount of drama is the best way to do it. Like to be honorable when you end it and stuff. And for some of them, this is because the karmics that that they're entangled with have families. Or other people that are in there. It's not as simple as you get out, you take your stuff and go. Um, and actually, I'm getting the sense this is the first time I've had a connection in with the reading. A lot of the moving energy I'm seeing around, some of them are moving. Either they're moving and they're leaving a house situation, or they're moving karmics out of their houses, and it's a bit of a mess. But um, because this is with the Magician card, yeah, I think a lot of them are they're still kind of, they're either trying to manifest chaos or they're trying to manifest a move, um, and communication, because there's a lot to do with communication. Mm. And for some of them, this is them um, trying to stop listening to so many other people's opinions and learn to listen to their hearts. I think that's what a lot of this is about. This is new love, but I think for most masculines, it's simply the recognition that there is a meaningful, real love out there, and they have to first stop being so attached to what other people think. They have to learn faith. They have to learn to trust their own intuition and to follow their hearts, even if everybody that they've known has been against it or pushes them towards toxic love, but they're seeing that. I think that's part of why they're feeling this way and manifesting this. And that's probably why we see this twice. They, some of them, well, is it twice? No, it's not twice. It was something I was reading for myself. Excuse me. I've seen this card twice. They want to apologize, but they're still feeling really immature about it, and they're still tackling their egos a bit and lots of voices from others, probably also in their egos. And but thankfully, it's funny. So the Page of Cups is associated with Pisces, and this Pisces full moon, I think, is bringing this out in them that they are really, they're manifesting this in some way. So they're manifesting a new beginning after some kind of drama or some kind of move or both, probably a dramatic move. In fact, it's funny, look at that in a literal way. So they're manifesting a dramatic move that will open up feelings and be a new beginning in terms of love wise, with a small cup offer to see if someone will take it, possibly with an apology, and I think admitting, once they stop hesitating, admitting that they didn't look before they leapt. And you know what? It reminds me of that poem, Jack and Jill went down the hill. Um, because Jack fell down and broke his crown. And look at, she's wearing a crown in that, and upside down. If she fell on her head, she'd break her crown. So Jack and Jill, yeah. Hmm. Okay. So then, all right. So masculines are they're wanting to make some kind of music with you. It could be in a literal sense or not, but they're wanting to speak up and tell you about what's going on. But they're manifesting their way out of some kind of situation. Thank you, Spirit, for clarity on this Three of Swords. Why are masculines feeling that way? Oh, interesting. Strength. And I love that this is a unicorn in here with the lion, and this lion with he's got glasses, like reading glasses on. It's funny. The description of this card is very fun. It's like they're play fighting, and they're pretending to fight, and the lion is licking at the paws and stuff. I And what's funny is, I mean, being that it's a unicorn in here, what I get the sense of is that a lot of masculines have kind of been looking, especially at their divine femmes, as kind of a unicorn, and they've been looking at themselves as a bit of a beast, like Beauty and the Beast, and they haven't felt worthy. But I think they're actually starting to recognize that they're both, but they're much more of a unicorn themselves. I think it's bringing them strength. I think whatever it is that you've been doing, especially for those divine femmes that have just been like I don't know, I've been kind of in an energy myself of not worrying about the stuff that needs to be done, that really should be focused on right now. Just releasing control and just being my otherwise playful self who I would be if I didn't feel all the weight of adulting stuff on it. I think for those of you divine femmes that have also been working to release control and have just been playful, both those of you that are in contact with your DMs and those of you that aren't and you're just sending them that playful energy, I think they're starting to recognize that in order to manifest abundance that is secure and stable, they need to embrace the kind of the law of attraction stuff, the manifestation stuff, but they've been looking at us to a large degree as kind of like, yeah, yeah, whatever you and your what is it? My DM called it. I mean, my hippie store, my hippie witchy store, or he calls it my creepy spiritual stuff. Like, there's a lot of DMs that haven't really believed in it. Like they wanted to, but it was kind of like they just looked at it more like a fairy tale. Like, yeah, right, that would be nice if it existed, but real love doesn't exist like that. It's not true, and you're not any different than anybody else. You're just more patient or something, or more stubborn. I don't know, but they're actually starting to recognize there is a real difference, and that they can choose to be in that energy too. And I laugh too because on the bottom, look at Five of Swords reversed. Resolutions, apologies. And of course, what stayed on top? Six of Wands. And in the heart, look at what I said. See, it was the ten of Wands. He was wanting to go into the Page of Wands. So here's the Page of Wands. It's in reverse. I don't think they feel like they can even get to the Page of Wands stage. They're feeling very, very immature and unable to speak, but they want to. And I think that's why they're feeling, they're wanting to end this situation because it is bringing them strength to think about that weird, hippie, witchy, spiritual, prayerful stuff. They're starting to believe again, and it's bringing them strength. So they want to make an offer. They're trying to have something to offer. A lot of these masculines don't recognize. They we just want their hearts. A lot of them don't realize that, and so they're still kind of immature in that sense. But at the same time, a lot of people pointed out in society we put a lot of pressure on men to be providers of money, whereas like women are typically more allowed to go and like use their bodies to go and get what they want. And men feel they often kind of toxic masculinity. They don't feel like they're good enough unless they have at least financial stability. But I think for a lot of these masculines, they weren't realizing that there was something beyond just a healthy and unhealthy relationship. There's actually higher divine love. And so then now they're really feeling like they don't have as much to offer. So they're trying to figure out how to offer a gift of a different kind. Um, which I think is why we were getting the temperance out with this one, and why it seems more artistic. I think that fair amount of them, they want to be more romantic. They want to I'm kind of getting the image of that movie 51st Dates. Like they want to find new ways to show you love every day kind of thing, which is something that a lot of them haven't ever thought about before. Like they're used to relationships that were just like, here's the money, pay the bills, spend the rest, whatever, I'm going back to work. And that to them was a stable relationship, as long as they could go and drink their beer and there'd be regular fights and stuff like that. But I think they're recognizing that they want more than that. There is more than that. That healthy love is more than that. That there's more to life than just working. So they're really getting creative about how they offer this to you in some way. And like I said, it might be a message, it might be a song they write, it might be just other music that they send, and a lot of them are sending music like through the radio, through Pandora, through YouTube. So if you want to hear it, make sure that you have more opportunities to listen to the radio, and especially in ways that you can't necessarily control. But don't discount when you feel really called to listen to a song. Yeah, and I think they're really getting initiated into metacognition, that Mercury energy, this Virgo energy. They're starting to take control of how they think. Do I want to be this way or do I want to be that way? A lot of them have karmics who are telling them that they are not good, that they're not capable, they can't be a big rock star, they're never going to make $1 million, that they're not capable without them, or they're not necessarily like being, some of them are being directly mean like that, but some of them a lot of them are doing it more so because that's their programming. Like they grew up with people around them that were like, "No, don't go after your dreams. You're never going to be that good. You're not that special. Like you're good at playing guitar, but you're not that good." Or yeah, you could do this, but you got to go to work and pay the bills. You got a family to take care. You got kids to take care of. Don't focus on that. Or that's a lot of work. This is actually a good business card too. So with both of these, if masculines may actually be manifesting a new business even. But I think what they're recognizing though, especially if you've met them or been in contact with them, or even if it's no contact, if you've ever been that type of person who's focused more on gratitude. In fact, if you haven't been this way, be this way now. Focus on gratitude no matter what the circumstances, no matter whether they're being bratty or good, no matter whether you've got it going good or not. And this will help you also, like, start getting focused on, like, show them how to choose how you think. We can manufacture our thoughts and our emotions, and we can do it without delusions and making things up. We can just choose what to focus on. Like I am working on weight loss, but the words weight and loss can often in our subconscious minds, they don't bring us to a yummy place, and it can make it hard to do that or to quit smoking. But we don't like to think about quitting things, and sometimes it's the only comfort that we've had that's been let's like there's no fear of abandonment in my pack of cigarettes getting up and walking away. But I would rather choose to say, you know what, I'm releasing this weight, or I'm releasing the betrayal energy in my heart chakra and the weight in my solar plexus, so that the weight will naturally melt away, you know, finding strength in that sort of thinking. And if you've been that way with them, they're hearing you in their thoughts. I think this is also to a degree enhanced telepathic communications between twins, which totally makes sense with the Pisces moon coming in. And I think I've seen a couple of astrologers talking about how that is going to continue to increase. So we got that full moon coming in tomorrow. And yeah, I think it has been increasing. In fact, I've noticed it increasing usually 3 days before and 3 days after the moon. But this moon in particular it's a very powerful one. It's been affecting us coming up to this state, but I think we're going to see the most profound parts of it until the full moon after that in Aries, when the moon is, or excuse me, not in Aries. It'll be in Libra season. So it'll be, yeah, no, it will be Aries when the full moon is in Aries. So up to that point, at least the next 2.5 weeks, we will see an increase in that, and in the music connections, the telepathy, the dreams, things like that. And you're gonna probably be able to hear, like they're hearing it more. Their inner ear chakra and their third eye chakra are opening up so they can hear spirit, they can hear you, and they're starting to recognize, if you've been the one telling them you can do it, you got this. I believe in you. I have faith in you. Which is kind of like it's become my pretty regular thing, and not just with my DM, with myself, with my friends and my kids. Is rather than saying, "Oh well, you're doing it wrong," or "If you just do this, if you just do that," like because I used to do that, and instead, I when someone comes to me and says they have a problem, my first response now is, you can do this. I have faith in you. Or even when I have to communicate the thing that I'm unhappy about, like you're not doing this thing that you should be doing. But I end it with, but I have faith that when it matters to you, you will do it. You will remedy it. You will fix it. And I know that if somebody needs my help, they will ask for my help. But we don't often hear that kind of stuff in our lives. We don't speak it to ourselves either. I think that's a lot. Also, masculines are feeling. This is how they're feeling right now. So they're giving themselves, I think, a new beginning, and they're voluntarily allowing the stinking thinking to fall away. They're looking at comparison as like, I could choose. In fact, let's look at these cards together. Let's say that this is a choice. Do they continue to choose a heartbreaking third party situation where they don't feel good and they feel betrayed? Do they continue to choose thoughts that have kept them in these cycles for a very long time? Or do they choose a new beginning where there's going to be unknowns and they won't always know what to do? And it's still early on. I mean, they've still got to get to the Two of Pentacles after this, and that's a bit of juggling, but they're feeling that choice. And I think because it's going in the order of the Pentacles, then the Magician, then the Three of Swords, that they have already decided that they're choosing the new beginning and the unknown. Um, they're just still early on in it. Seeing the rain come down a little bit more, so I will probably end this and get into a drier place to do some more readings. But I want to pull a couple cards real quick. Let's see, what's Divine Masculine's next move? What are their next moves, Spirit? Huh. Well, I'm not going to take all those cards, but I'm laughing. Look what popped right back out. They're letting go of a situation and healing their hearts. So a lot of you could work on, look what came out there. A lot of you can work on, do heart chakra meditations, bring that space back into balance, get beyond the heart chakra, go to the throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, work on that. And that's, I think, why this popped out. This is more Virgo energy. So with the Magician and with this, they're manifesting. And if you look at this, I love it. Look what he's got in his lantern. It's not a flame, it's the star. It's a wish. It's that inner being, it's guidance. And this in particular is dreams. Now, in terms of an action, what this tells me is a lot of divine masculines are either they're either getting single in a literal sense, standing alone, standing in that Virgo energy of self care, or they are getting there like emotionally, spiritually. I'm getting the sense too that for many, can be represented as the 5D self of the masculine, but this could be union with the masculine. And look at on the bottom, Queen of Wands, and I think because that airplane's going overhead, what's going on is that it's very loud around them. There's a lot of opinions, a lot of voices, and I get a sense that for a lot of them, they have um, karmic feminines around them who are like literally loud. They're very loud. But they're trying to hear, I get the sense that this is actually you for a lot of them. They're trying to hear those thoughts. They're trying to do it for themselves. So a fair amount of them might be quiet. They might not be over communicating to you. They may seem isolated and secluded, and they may seem withdrawn, but that's because they're trying to learn how to do what you do. Because this is in their subconscious position, they're seeing you as a manifester. They're seeing you glowing up, even though you're not with them. They know you want to be, even though you might not have all the money, or you might be stuck in your own third party karmic situations that don't have to be relationships, could be work wise or family or things like that. But they see you doing it, and they don't feel like they've been doing that, and they want to do that. And so that star in there is you guiding them. So for those of you that have been working on yourselves, you've been doing channels like this, or writing articles, or making music, or I mean, just in general, working on yourselves and things like that, keep doing it. Even if you're not in direct contact with them, even if you haven't met them, you're twins, you reflect each other. And so, make sure that you're steering, you're not paying attention fully to what they're doing. Spirit will let you know when you need to know what they're doing, and will say, "Hey, look over here, stupid. I want you to do this, or I want you to send that message, or whatever it is." They will let you know. But keep working on that. Let your this is on top for that hot topic. Intuition, listening to your intuition, deciding. This can also be a third party situation, so they're this is what they're talking about, at least in their mind, and they're looking at you and seeing that you are a warrioress who stands alone and has learned to listen to your intuition, and so they're imitating us. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Two of Pentacles in the middle. They're learning to choose to be more playful. They're trying, like, they're making their choices, but you got to stay in your good energy. Don't get sucked into the drama. Don't misuse your manifestation abilities, and don't worry so much about the story of them. They're just writing a side chapter that'll make your story with them more interesting later. But you keep working on you, and if you haven't started working on you, do so. And I do coaching. I do it the same as the tarot readings. I do it by donation and tribute only. So if you want help getting a business started, or you want help figuring out kind of work you want to do, or you want to work on parenting, or learning how to read tarot cards so you can do that yourself, or you want to, I don't know, start up your own pet charity, whatever it is, I'm happy to help. There's lots of other readers who also do coaching that are happy to help. Fiery Grace the Gifted is one of my favorites. Again, Divine Maverick, too, is another great one. I think Jupiter 1111. There's plenty of them out there. There's Mr. Lightwork, too. And I think there's one called I don't know if they do coaching, but they do fairly good readings occasionally. It's what is it? The Real Divine Masculine. Either way, I gotta get off of here because the rain's definitely coming in. I might do some more readings later, but let me know for those of you that resonate with this stuff, and if you would like to see more messages like this. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.